Hey everyone, so today we're going to dive into a big question. What makes a relationship not just survive, but actually thrive over the long haul? But here's the thing, we're not looking for some kind of magic formula. Instead, we're going to think like architects. We're going to lay out a blueprint for building something incredible.
I mean, it's the question we all ask, right? You see those couples that just seem to click, and you can't help but wonder, what's their secret? Is there some little trick they figured out that the rest of us missed?
Well, here's the good news. It's not really a secret. It's more like a blueprint. It's a design plan, a set of principles and actions that anyone can use to build something really strong, something secure, something that's truly built to last.
Okay, so what does this blueprint actually look like? Well, it's built on 5 core pillars. Think of these as the non-negotiable parts of the structure. We're going to go through each one, starting right from the ground up. You know, every solid building has to start with a strong foundation. You just can't build a skyscraper on shaky ground. And in a marriage, that foundation is, without a doubt, trust. And it's really built from 2 core materials.
The first of those is loyalty and commitment. This is the absolute bedrock. And it's way more than just being physically faithful. It's that deep, emotional promise that says, hey, we're a team. I'm in this with you, especially when things get tough. It's knowing deep down that your partner has your back no matter what.
And you see this in action every day. It's about consistently showing up, building that trust brick by brick. And what that does is create this incredible sense of security. This feeling that you can be completely yourself, completely vulnerable, because you know you're going to face whatever comes your way together. Now, the second part of that foundation is patience and flexibility. Come on, let's be real. Life is not static. We change, our jobs change, our situations change. Life is always throwing us curveballs. And a foundation that's too rigid, it's just going to crack under all that pressure.
That's where patience and flexibility come in. They're like the shock absorbers for your relationship. They let you bend without breaking. They help you adapt to whatever's new, and they reduce all that friction when you disagree. It's about accepting that growth and change aren't just possible, they're a totally normal part of the journey. All right, our foundation is poured and solid, so now it's time to put up the framework. These are the walls and the beams of the house, the structures that shape our everyday life together and create the space where a real connection can grow. And the first part of that framework, it's all about communication skills. And I'm not just talking about the act of speaking. I mean the actual skill of creating a space where both of you feel heard, you feel respected, and you feel truly understood. It's being able to say what you need, honestly and openly, without making it an attack.
And this difference is absolutely huge. Just think about it for a second. In a conversation, are you really listening to understand what your partner is saying? Or are you just kind of waiting for them to stop talking so you can make your point? One builds trust, the other, well, it just builds resentment. It's a critical distinction.
The other major beam holding up this framework is emotional intelligence. This is all about your ability to navigate the sometimes messy, emotional world of your relationship. It starts with understanding your own feelings, like, am I actually angry right now or am I just exhausted? And then being able to step into your partner's shoes and empathize with what they're feeling too.
You know, when emotional intelligence is high in a relationship, the whole dynamic just changes. Disagreements don't have to blow up into these massive fights. You can talk about hard stuff calmly without things escalating. This is how you build real deep empathy. And that empathy, man, that's like the glue holding the entire structure together.
So, we've got our foundation, we've got our framework, the house is built, but what is it that turns a house into a warm, vibrant, living home? Well, that brings us to the final, and maybe most important, piece of our blueprint. Let's call it the engine.
And that engine is a combination of self-awareness and having a growth mindset. This is the internal work. It's about really knowing yourself, what your triggers are, what your patterns are, and taking ownership of your side of the street. And it's about believing that neither of you is a finished product. You can both learn, you can both grow, you can both become better partners over time.
This is the mindset that keeps a relationship from getting stale. It's what lets you actually learn from a fight instead of just having the same one over and over again. It helps you make better choices for the good of the relationship and keeps the whole thing feeling alive, dynamic, and full of potential. This is what makes a home a place where you grow, not a place where you get stuck.
So there you have it, the foundation, the framework,
and the engine. Let's take a step back for a second and look at the whole blueprint we've just put together.
Here it is, all in one place. You start by laying a strong foundation with loyalty and commitment. You reinforce it with patience and flexibility. Then you build the frame with great communication, and you insulate the whole thing with emotional intelligence. And finally, you power your home with a shared mindset of self-awareness and growth. You see how each piece connects to and supports all the others?
And I want to make one last point here, and it's a really important one. None of this is gendered. These aren't women's traits or men's traits. They're just human traits. They are powerful, essential tools for absolutely anyone who wants to build a strong, loving partnership that lasts.
So, as you look at this blueprint, take a moment to think about your own structure. Where are you already strong? And which pillar might need a little bit of work? The amazing thing about a blueprint is that you can start renovations anytime. So the only question left is, which pillar are you going to strengthen first?